And on that note, let's go ahead and take Joey in Tennessee.
Yeah, hi.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing good. I really love you guys' show, and I just want to
you.
say you two are by far my favorite hosts. No offense to the other guys.
Then it's your day. Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, my question is, I'm an atheist, and I have lots of friends that are Christians. But I don't want to, just proselytize to them or be confrontational about, what I believe or what they believe. But every time I, try and talk to them about reason and logic and, trying to find the truth, I just feel like, I just want to bring up the fact that if they're not an extremist or a fundamentalist, basically they're going to hell because, by their definition of, what constitutes heaven or hell. And I find it really hard to, try and talk to them without being confrontational and saying, look, you're working on a Sunday, you should be stoned to death. And I was looking for any advice you could give me about that.
I mean, yeah, I personally don't. I generally only approach conversations like that when people bring them up with me. I don't proactively look for mechanisms to insert what I think about what they're doing. If they were to initiate a conversation with me about their religion, I would oblige that. But it does sound a little confrontational to me. I mean, I wouldn't like, I guess, if I had a religious relative and every time I did something they were inserting their religious views into my life. I would get tired of that pretty quickly. So I don't know if I'm understanding correctly what you're describing, but it almost sounds like that's what you're describing that you're doing.
Yeah, and you can actually, I won't give you the number, obviously, but you could call my mom or some of my other relatives, and you would find out that by and large, I don't ever bring these subjects up. We do the show as a way of informing people, and I will answer tons of email, and I'll run around and speak on it. But it's not like I go door to door, and it's not like I try to accost any of my religious family members or friends. But to the specific point that you're talking about with regard to hell, it's worth noting that especially moderate and liberal Christians, they've got this ability to they've departed from the orthodox views, and they've found a way to rationalize or justify their position within their own mind. Billy Graham, for example, doesn't believe in a literal hell, and has said so. And of course, the more fundamentalist sects have called him out on this. And there's not a single point of doctrine within the Christian religion that isn't contested by one denomination or another, right down to the divinity of Jesus. So it may be the case, you can argue that, if you're not a fundamentalist by your own beliefs, you're going to hell, but I think it's better to actually talk to them about what they believe and why, and find out what their particular view is on this, because there are plenty of believers out there who don't hold those fundamentalist views and wouldn't say no. I don't think anybody's going to say, according to my beliefs, I'm going to hell. Essentially, you're making an argument from a particular literalist interpretation of some aspects of the Bible, and they're looking at other aspects in a different light. So to me, it's like it's like a conversation that almost has no place, because you are coming in as a non-Christian to tell them that their particular view of Christianity is invalid. And trust me, I completely understand, because I've had go-rounds on the show and an email with liberal Christians, but what I end up trying to do is I want to find out what their views are on the Bible and what the Bible has to say and particular passages. Because if you can point out the explicit contradiction, then you might be making headway. Anything short of that, and you're just an obnoxious ass who is trying to impose your particular view on what they happen to believe.
And
I've been both.
The other thing is sometimes people will write to us and say they want to talk to a relative about their religion, and they'll say, how do I do this? How do I approach this? And I just tell them honestly, you ask the person straight up, can I talk to you about your religious views? And if they tell you yes, then you can talk to them, and you can talk to them for as long as they agree to talk to you. But when a person doesn't want to talk about something, you have got to respect that.
Yeah, and it's, I had a back and forth in the past week with a pastor at a church, or actually mostly a fourth, but because some people are either so uncomfortable with their views or are so afraid of confrontation that they were sending anonymous mails. I got it, or Beth got it. I find that, I even quoted the Bible verse in 1 Timothy where, you're supposed to be forthright about and honest and straight up in your defense of Jesus. But if they're looking at another verse, they might be looking at the do unto others verse. And maybe they would prefer that these types of things be handled anonymously. So you've got no way of spinning this to expose their failings, because they've already rationalized their position to the point that it's defensible to them.
Yeah. So it's like you're not presenting you're not presenting their view of it, and you're not even presenting your view of it. You're kind of saying there's people over here that look at it this way that would condemn what you're doing, and I'm pretty sure that they would say that they don't agree with those people.
Yeah, just talk to them about the things that they want to talk to them about. Get some definitions. Try to expose the obvious contradictions, but try and avoid becoming an angel's advocate, I guess, for a different interpretation from theirs. It's fun sometimes, and I realize that I have done exactly this in conversations, but my point is to use that to find out those contradictions, to find out what they do and don't believe, because oftentimes they're not going to tell you, and oftentimes they don't completely understand themselves what they believe.
Well, and the other thing is you will get you should get a feel when you throw something like that out there of how the person takes it.
Yeah.
Like, is this a person who's amenable to that conversation, that they're willing to talk about it and say, well, that's an interesting thing that you're bringing up, here's how I look at it? Or is it somebody that gets annoyed by it? And if it is, I don't think I would keep doing it.
Thanks a lot for you guys' help.
Sure.
All right, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.